Check out carmarshal.com. The link is in the description. They help support us.
Watch, cops arrest innocent man, record themselves pondering what to charge him with. For informing citizens of their rights while on a jury, an innocent man was kidnapped and caged by the very people tasked with protecting his right to do this. By Matt Agarist, December 27, 2017. Bronx, New York. Earlier this month, government accountability activist Michael Picard was practicing his right to free speech in front of the Bronx Hall of Justice in New York when he was unlawfully arrested and thrown in jail. He had committed no crime and was merely attempting to hand out information on the rights of jurors. Picard is innocent. He was only attempting to educate his neighbors about their rights on a jury, which is protected free speech. However, courts are intent on using their power to hide the full scope of the juror's responsibility, and they will apparently go to great lengths to do so, including throwing an entirely innocent man in a cage. For those who don't know, jury nullification is the right for any juror to not only judge the facts of the case but also to judge the validity of the law itself. If a jury feels that a defendant is facing an unjust charge, they have the right to rule in the defendant's favor, even if they are technically guilty under the court's standards. Federal and individual state governments are terrified about this concept becoming mainstream, as it could lead to radical change in regards to victimless crimes. Advertisement. Picard wanted people to know about their rights while serving on a jury, so he printed out flyers and was handing them out. For helping to educate his fellow citizens on the law, Picard was kidnapped and thrown in a cage. Picard said, "On Monday, December 4th, I was on the public sidewalk in front of the Bronx Hall of Justice handing out flyers on jury nullification, which is a right that the jury has to acquit a defendant if they believe the law to be unjust. At 8 a.m., about 5 minutes in, I was confronted by court officers, who told me to leave or else they would arrest me. I refused to leave the public sidewalk, as I was engaged in First Amendment protected speech and I was doing nothing wrong, so they arrested me." Read more. Watch this police officer get owned after he pulls over a former cop for honking at him. Picard was then handcuffed and booked as his GoPro camera continued to record. As Picard is booked into the jail, the police can be heard contemplating the charges they were going to pin on him. "I want to charge him with jury intimidation," the officer can be heard saying. Once they discovered the camera was still rolling, the cops then had another charge, wiretapping. However, Picard had no way of disabling the camera as he was in handcuffs. Police ultimately pinned 3 erroneous charges on Picard with absolutely no proof of a crime being committed. Luckily, a judge noted the utter lack of evidence against him and dismissed all the charges. However, police failed to tell Picard that the charges were thrown out, and they held the innocent man in jail for an additional 5 hours just because. As Picard explains, "They charged me with criminal contempt, jury tampering, and wiretapping, for recording them. At around noon, the district attorney's office dismissed all charges against me. Even after my charges were dismissed, court officers then took me to central booking, where NYPD argued over who would get the arrest, as if they have a quota to meet. They finally released me, and said I was free to go, at 6 p.m., after spending 10 hours in jail, but they said that I would have to come back another day to pick up my property." Picard went back the next day thinking police may have deleted the footage of themselves, however, it remained intact. Below is an example of what practicing your free speech and informing people of their rights looks like in the land of the free.
Hey guys, I'm at the Bronx Hall of Injustice. The Bronx Hall of Injustice is one of the largest businesses in the Bronx, and they don't produce anything, they don't create a product, they don't manufacture any goods, they just put people in prison. And they put people in prison for petty things like jaywalking and marijuana possession and just victimless crime. So I'm here to protest that by handing out jury nullification flyers. It's the right of the jury to acquit a defendant if they believe the law to be immoral. So basically, you know all those, you know how marijuana has been decriminalized in New York, but they still arrest people for it.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's a perfect example of, you know, when jury nullification comes into play. When a defendant faces marijuana charges, they should just be acquitted. Can I interest you in a flyer? Have a good day. Can I interest you in a flyer about your rights? Good, how are you?
Stuff?
Just handing it out to anyone who will take it.
No victim, no crime, no jury, no notification. Alright, if you might, I'm gonna check up on something. Yeah, just hold on to this.
You want to hold on to it?
No, that's okay. So
Alright.
that's it, alright. Something like that might have to have you stand a distance away from the court. So I'm just gonna give you a heads up.
Just so you know, this is public sidewalk.
No, I
so
understand.
Can I interest you in a flyer about your rights?
So I just notified my office what's happening is with that, you're allowed to do it, but you got to stay 200 feet away from the courthouse. So if
What law is that?
I'll get someone to come out here, but we'll show you the paperwork on that also.
Hey guys, so I have my jury info sign out. I've been handing out flyers.
I've been 200 feet away from the courthouse. So
Says who?
Says the law. And if you don't do it
Which
now,
law?
if you don't do it now, I'm going to put handcuffs on you. You're going to be placed under arrest.
Which
Do
law?
you understand?
Which law?
I don't have to tell you or point to a section. I'm telling you, it's in the criminal procedure law. It's in penal law, actually. You have
Penal
to be
law?
200 feet away. Okay,
And
I'm going to give you
what would I have been arrested?
Listen to me. I'm about to place you under arrest. Is that what you want?
For free speech?
No, for violating the law. The law says you can do this, but you have to be 200 feet away. Is that
For
something
free
you understand?
speech on a public space?
No. The law says you can do that 200 feet away from a courthouse.
Okay, well, you guys said you'd produce that, so I'm
no,
not
we don't have
leaving
to
unless you produce
Okay,
it.
put your hands behind your back. I'm going to place you under arrest. Here, I need a key. Inside here. Keep facing the wall.
You're not going to leave these on, are you?
No. I'm going to take them off temporarily.
Ow.
Get in out.
Ouch. What am I being charged with?
Well, there's a couple of things you can try to protect.
Okay.
Criminal contempt.
Okay.
Do is okay, gonna pat you down.
I don't know why you wanted to go this route, sir. When a uniformed officer tells you to move from a place, that's what you're supposed to do. Okay. Nobody's questioning you.
Let me just get his ID. Start this process. Which is a big pain in the ass.
Got a case?
No, I don't think so.
Do you have any medical issues? Yes? You don't want to answer?
What? I want to charge him a jury intimidation. It's a jury.
You try to tell them, right? You try to tell them. You got to be 200, but they want to see everything in writing. So you'll see it in writing, but you'll see it in writing.
Already?
Ready. How are you today? All right? Got it early, huh? What, already?
We don't play around here, Sarge.
It's going to be a lot.
I don't think this is a good thing.
Already? Okay.
Is this recording?
County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Charlotte County COPWATCH with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if some, if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave a, let's say, actually, yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But, do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, at least I can do it. 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, if I got, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. 47,000 of you so far right now. $1 a day. $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head, help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.